Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, and this is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week. Now, J.C. Bakker is a nursery. It is a wholesale nursery here in St. Catharines. They do not sell direct to the public, but they do have a lot of good, well-grown plant material, which they distribute mainly in Ontario, but throughout Canada and into the United States. Now, they've got some new plant material. The first one, and of course, you should all know by now that I do like the Japanese maples. There is one called Crimson Princess. Now, Crimson Princess is a cut leaf. It's hardy to zone 5. It's got a 10-foot spread and a 10-foot height. It's got that nice lacy crimson foliage. It's bright red in the spring. It matures to a purple red. And that doesn't fade during the summer heat. And there's the key, right there. Turning a brilliant orange in the fall. What more can you ask, right? Nice, neat plant. Of course, it's going to look like a hay mound. You're going to have to give this one a little spread. And like all Japanese maples, you shouldn't really be disturbing the root system around or near. So plan your garden accordingly for it to grow and spread and be there. Because if you look after this well, it is going to be there a very long time. The next Japanese maple is a palmatum pixie. And pixie is a hardy to zone 5 Japanese maple with a 6-foot spread and a 6-foot height. It's the miniature version of Bloodgood. Ho, ho, ho. Think of this. You know, the one that always seems to be planted up near the house and it grows too high and it's in the wrong spot because people planted it 20 years ago? Well, here's the dwarf one. This is the one that you actually should be planting. Dwarf, Bloodgood, bright red leaves in the spring, change to a deep red throughout the summer, and a scarlet red autumn color. What more can you ask? Not much. So this one will actually be the Japanese maple of the future. You'll probably see this one in our smaller landscapes replacing Bloodgood. The next one is Acer palmatum dissectum Crimson Queen. Crimson Queen has been around quite a while, but J.C. Bakker has just started to grow it. This one is truly, truly spectacular. I grow this one. We love this one. It's hardy to zone 5. It's got an 8-foot height and 12-foot spread. And be aware, it's going to do that. This one has great form. The young leaves are very finely cut. It has a dark purple red color, probably the darkest. And it maintains the color through the summer unless you give it too much sun. Autumn brings on that sort of a clear reddish purple foliage color. And it is strictly a great Japanese maple. My family love this one. They've named it. They call it Freddy. So, how's Freddy today? Just go take a look, right? The next one is apple serviceberry. And apple serviceberry is one of the serviceberries. Of course, it's an edible fruit if you can get there before the birds and the squirrels and all the other animals. The zone 4 is for your hardiness. The height is 20 feet and spreads 20 feet, so it's not a small one. But here it is, brilliant orange-red fall color, disease resistance, clusters of fragrant white flowers, and of course the purplish-black fruit, which you can use in jams and jellies, and trust me, you just sort of pop them in your mouth and go for it. If you've got the room, you should be planting this one. Now, I've been around long enough that I remember when they came on your property and they ripped up and took away all the Barbary, simply because of the rust diseases that it attacked all the grain crops. And if you have a choice between eating grain and looking at Barbary, you go with the let's eat sort of idea. At least it does for me. This one is one of the newer ones that does not have that problem with wheat rust. It is called Golden Nugget Dwarf Japanese Barberry, and it's hardy to zone 4. Its height is 1 foot and it spreads 2. So think of it, compact, small. It is golden, and I mean brilliantly golden, compact, dwarf obviously. Great in a garden. Think of this as being a contrast plant to every other plant you've got in the garden because it's so gold. It would not be mistaken for some of the older gold spirea mounds. It would not be mistaken for any of the euonymus either. It is that bright, brilliant, and consistently gold. The foliage is just absolutely great throughout the growing season, and of course deciduous. So you're going to lose leaves in fall. Euonymus alatus. This one is called Little Moses burning bush, which I think is hilarious, but somebody's got a good sense of humor here. Hardy to zone 4, tough. It's got a spread of 3.5 feet and 3.5 feet high. Result is that you actually do have a compact burning bush. The difference between the burning bush and the compact ones that are out in the market now is about 1 foot. So in other words, they're going to be, well, the regular one technically is rated at 10 foot by 10 foot. The other one gets up is about 6 by 9. Not exactly what I would call dwarf. So the more compact dwarf burning bush is still pretty darn big. But this one's much smaller. It's dense, it's upright, slightly flattened at the top, which is normal if you've got a nice little short fat fella. It's got great fiery red fall color, of course, in the sun, if you want your good color. And again, lots of hardiness in zone 4. This one could actually be used in fall color. It could be put in combination with this golden Barbary. It could go in with possibly some of the Weigelias or even that other Spirea. So you could do them in contrast and cluster them together and still give you a great contrast and continual change in color. Weeping Beech. Now, they're carrying this Weeping Beech. I've only seen one very large specimen, possibly 2, in my lifetime. This is big. Now, you better have an estate for this one. It's hardy to zone 4. It's got a 40-foot spread and 30 foot. This is a weeping form. It is Weeping Beech. But what happens is it looks very ghost-like. You know, with the arms and the branches that hang down and they're up and down and they weep right to the ground. Got the gray bark in the fall. The green leaves go copper toned in the fall as well. So you've got a great plant, but again, big. 40 feet high and 30 feet across. So don't go and just plant this just anywhere. Give it room, because remember, we plant trees for the next generation. I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.